Aloha and welcome everyone to the first Habitual Cosmic Review of 2022. We will be diving into the energies of January and what we can expect astrologically to be working with. As a reminder, all dates and times are from my current location in Hawaii in the United States of America. So I wanted to start out with just a recap of the theme of the quarter, which is pressure makes diamonds. That was shown in my Habitual Cosmic Review of 2022. And as we go through this year, I'll be referencing back to those themes in these monthly reviews, because it's really going to kind of just give that broader and bigger picture. Again, we are walking through a part of our story that has a longer term impact. And so we want to keep making sure that we're referencing and flowing within what we're doing today and what that means for the bigger picture. So pressure makes diamonds is the theme of the quarter. The word of the quarter was perseverance, and January starts that energy off, and we are going to be looking at synonyms as we go through January, February, and March of perseverance. And the word of this month for January is assiduous, which is showing great care and perseverance. And I loved assiduous for this month in particular because this part about showing great care really, really stuck with me as I was looking into the energies of January. This is very much a month of respecting the journey ahead, the person that you are becoming, the person that you no longer are, that you have left behind, and showing care with yourself, showing care with others as they are going through their journey. And, it's something where this great care, when we think about Capricorn season, we look at the mountain that we're climbing, right? We have the mountain goat as the symbol for Capricorns. It's about climbing that mountain. And, if you believe in nature, if you resonate with Pachamama and the energy source that she is, when you're climbing a mountain, when you're approaching like a climb, and never been there, so I definitely am just understanding this from an energetic perspective, knowing what I know about people that have, or I've seen documentaries of people that have climbed really extreme mountains, like mountains in Yosemite, or even the Great Mother Mountain of Mount Everest. You just don't hack away at climbing that mountain. There is a respect that you provide to the mountain itself. You understand that, and you approach that mountain with that assiduous nature, that great care, the great respect that you are here, you are climbing this mountain, but you understand at any moment that this mountain could also change and could not let you accomplish your goal, could put a blockage in your path. And, quite frankly, we all know when people have climbed Everest, they have perished during that trek and during that journey. And it is in that respecting that journey, respecting that there are going to be times where you're going to have to pivot. There are going to be times where you're going to run into maybe a barrier or a blockage, and you're going to have to figure out how to move around, move through, move within. And sometimes that means going back to base camp for the night and allowing that, let's say it's a storm, allowing that storm to pass. Knowing when the time is to be and when the time is to take action. The affirmation of this month that came to me was, I allow the emotion in me to spark the necessary motion in me to change. I also wanted to talk about the Lover's card. So every year, the overall numerology for that year provides a signature. So we are in 2022. 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 2 equals the number 6. And that correlates with the Lovers card in the major arcana. So I wanted to start this review of January off here because I feel there are some years where the numerology and the major arcana that aligns with it is this longer story. It doesn't necessarily show up day one. And, you know, it's this time where we have to like get in, connect. We have to allow a process to unfold when we talk about that connection of the energies between numerology, tarot, and astrology. But this year, we literally see this day one. The transit chart for January 1st, which I'll be showing here in just a moment, you see the Lovers coming out right away, and what the themes around the Lovers card talk through. So the Lovers is all about conscious connections. Yes, it can read as romantic connections for sure, but it is truly about something deeper than that. It's about the conscious connections that we have within ourselves, we have with others, and not just about the connection as a separate, but how our conscious connections with others also lead to the connection within ourself and vice versa. It's about deep, intimate communication, the communication that only comes from radical honesty. And it's not just honesty, like I'm honest with you. It's the brutal, radical honesty that the Lovers requires in order to have a conscious connection. The honesty that you have to be willing to speak your fears, to speak your needs, to speak your boundaries in a relationship, and be able to also receive that as an honest truth, receive that as your other connections' honest truth, and be able to ebb and flow within that giving and receiving of that radical honesty. And the Lovers is also about the values and beliefs that we have now, which this is why this card, I think, shows up just day one, because these values and beliefs is actually part of that nodal transit into Taurus and Scorpio. And that started back in November when we had our first eclipse, which is this exploration of what we value and believe now. What choice, because that's the other thing with the Lovers, is choice. What choice we have in the matter and what choice we are bringing to the matter as it relates to our values and beliefs currently, as it relates to how we practice radical honesty with ourselves and with others, and as we practice these conscious, very intimate connections and unions that we have with ourselves and with the rest of the world. And I wanted to take a quote from Sally Nichols. She is the author of Tarot and the Archetypal Journey, which I will place the link for that book below in the description box. I think she had one of the most beautiful quotes to describe the Lovers card. So I just wanted to leave that here, which is: connect this spiritual life with emotional life, and through passionate involvement in all of life, achieve a new relationship with others and a new harmony within oneself. That is the Lovers card. And that is the energy signature of 2022. It's that coming back with that relationship of self with others, and how those ebb and flow between to bring this beautiful harmony into our lives. Here is January 1st. So this is the transit chart for January 1st, 2022 at 8 a.m. Hawaii Standard Time. So the reason why I wanted to start off here is because this is such prominent energy. If you see here, I put a line down the kind of angular down the middle with an arrow pointing towards actually Jupiter, which is so prominent as it's in its 0 degree of Piscean energy right now. But the reason why this line with the arrow is because I wanted to show where this lover's energy comes up right away. So you can see all planets are between our two nodes. You see the North Node and the South Node. They are still in Sagittarius and Gemini, about ready to change signs. And they're really making this bowl shape, right? So you have this kind of, if you can imagine this bowl that they're making, and they're tipping this bowl over, right? Because the planets go around counterclockwise, I really got this image of the universe is holding this bowl and it's tipping it, allowing whatever fullness, whatever possibilities is inside of it to be poured out as these planets start to transit counterclockwise around the chart. And it's like this massive pouring out of whatever it is that is inside of you. It's all of your possibilities. And this is where it aligns with the Lover's card, which again, primarily is about choice. Your choice, it is all your choice on what you want to pour out into the world based on your new values and your beliefs. So you have this opportunity as we've closed out, this November, December timeframe, and we've over the last year, we've really worked through values and belief systems, which we're going to continue to do as we continue to grow. But this is that now, ability to look at the world in a new way through those new beliefs and values and pour out into the world what that is for you now. Now, I want to be very clear that this is going to be a slow, mindful, and purposeful process because it is being done by the universe, right? So we know Uranus isn't going past where it's at. You have all these outer planets at the bottom of this bowl. All of our personal planets, which move quite quickly, are at the top of this bowl. So it is going to take time for them to traverse through Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, Taurus to get into Gemini and be able to be poured out. So it is a slow, mindful, and purposeful, as the universe does all things. You can't rush this. You can't rush spirit, whatever that is for you, the universe, spirit, God. You can't rush that timeline. It is not your time. It is divine time. And as we know, the universe has no construct of what time is. So just remember, mindful, purposeful, slow, but this is beautiful because that truly allows you to center in on your values and beliefs, these new values and beliefs, and really choose what you're going to be pouring out into the world as we go through 2022. So here are our Illumination dates. I won't be doing an overview for each of these moons because I will be making separate videos for each moon. The new moon in Capricorn video is already live on YouTube, so you can check that out. And that new moon in Capricorn happens at 12 degrees on January 2nd. It will be trining Uranus in Taurus retrograde. Then we have our first full moon of the new year in Cancer at 27 degrees, 51 minutes on January 17th. That will be opposing Pluto in Capricorn. And it will be sextiling the nodes, which at that time for, again, Hawaii, in my own time zone, the time of that moon, the nodes will have breached the 0 degree point into Taurus and Scorpio. And then for myself out in Hawaii, but for most other people, January 31st, maybe even February 1st, we will have a new moon in Aquarius at 12 degrees, 20 minutes that will be squaring Uranus in Taurus, but now direct. So again, I will be making separate videos for each moon where I'll be going into depth about those. Stationing dates, we have for the planets going retrograde or stationing direct, we have Mercury retrograde. Mercury goes from air to earth for each full retrograde in 2022, which there are 3 of them. He will go retrograde for the 4th time at the very end of December of 2022, but we will have full retrogrades, 3 of them within this year. And each of those will interact with Pluto and the sun every single time. So this Mercury retrograde here, when it stations on January 14th at 10 degrees, 20 minutes of Aquarius, is going to be conjunct Saturn. It will be a loose conjunction, but it is still conjunct Saturn. It will be squaring Uranus in Taurus retrograde and trining Chiron in Aries. And this is a really lovely and supportive Mercury retrograde. There's a lot of flow, a lot of opportunity, transformation, change, mental reprogramming. It's productive, especially as it's in Aquarius, which is a fellow air sign. It loves that Aquarian air energy. When it goes back into Capricorn, it's where this, you had this productive moment. And then back in Capricorn, it's going to remind us that we need to slow down and truly apply what we have been thinking, learning, growing through, what opportunities have come up, what things we need to change, etc. Then on the 18th of January, Uranus stations direct at 10 degrees, 40 minutes of Taurus. That will be square Mercury in Aquarius retrograde, trining Venus in Capricorn retrograde, and Uranus stationing direct. Uranus is this, I'm so happy that Uranus is having these moments and will continue to have these moments as we go through the next decade, as being a prominent player. And that's really, for me personally, has allowed me to connect with Uranus differently. It's allowed me to understand and have a deeper understanding of Uranian energy and what it provides. So I have been really loving working with Uranus, especially as it's been in Taurus. And this is all about shaking up our value systems. Here we go again. We worked on all of our values, and now Uranus stationing direct can be that energy needed to, again, reassess and reevaluate as it's been retrograde, and now shake up whatever you need to move forward as it goes direct in January. It's also very clear about asking us what we want. What do we want? Reevaluate what it means to live a good life, or what you need to live a good life, not what everybody else thinks that is. There are varying multitudes, unlimited degrees of what a good life looks like. It should be based upon, again, your values and your beliefs. And now it's time to direct that energy forward. There could be unexpected developments as he moves forward, being direct, because he will cover new territory in Taurus from May to December. And then we have Venus stationing direct at 11 degrees, 5 minutes of Capricorn on January 29th. She will trine Uranus in Taurus, now direct, and then squaring Chiron in Aries. So, Venus stationing direct, she's not done with Capricorn or with Pluto. She's got a whole month left to go there. It's going to take us into March. She has her final meeting with Pluto March 3rd. And she's really been helping us to heal our fears, and especially around any sort of self-worth. And that can be in relationships, in what our purpose is, in our finances. She also has a very interesting year ahead of her. She has a huge part to play in this year, but will really be constrained until April. Again, it's the theme of the quarter. Pressure makes diamonds, and Venus is a very large part of that story. Now we have our ingress date. So on January 2nd, Mercury moves into Aquarius. This is the same day as the moon and the new moon in Capricorn. And then on January 17th or 18th, just depending upon where you are located, we have our nodal shifts. So the north node will move into Taurus, the south node into Scorpio, and they will remain there until July 20th of 2023. It will be under a degree at the time of the full moon, however, working its way towards the first degree by the 18th. So the north node is what we are growing into. The south node is what we are leaving behind or healing through. Taurus and Scorpio is our death and birth access point. And I put this in my 2022 transit or habitual cosmic review, excuse me, but I think it is worth repeating. A really great astrologer that I love to follow, Sarah Verba, put it this way: the Taurus and Scorpio access point. It is the doorway with which life energy moves back and forth. And that is the perfect way to describe Taurus and Scorpio energy. This is really a coming into our body, into our five senses after being in an air, after being in Gemini in the air sign. So it's a lot about self-worth, our standards, claiming your needs based on healthy desires, letting go of trauma cycles, specifically around fears and challenges, around your purpose, around your self-worth and value. Know you create challenges for yourself. Let me repeat that. Know that you create challenges for yourself, and just be done with that. Be done with those challenges. Be done with placing those challenges in front of you. Instead, create ease and beauty. It is a big graduation into the next phase of life. Then we have the sun entering Aquarius on January 19th. This is a masculine fixed air sign, Aquarius. Its ruler is Saturn and Uranus, which Saturn currently is in Aquarius. Uranus we know is in Taurus. And this is our revolutionary energy. It's liberation, rebel, friend, a spiritual aspirations. It's an air sign that wants to exchange information and ideas with others, especially around the themes of logic and fact. It's a great time to practice that radical honesty, to really develop and, develop what you need to within radical honesty and start making that a habit. After Capricorn, this is the sign that will ask you if what you're working towards is durable for the long term. And that is beautiful, right? So we did all this building in Capricorn season. Now the sun enters Aquarius, and now we're working on durability of the work that we did. And then we have Mars going into Capricorn on January 24th. And this is strength. This is a strength that emanates from within. Mars in Capricorn is a don't mess with me attitude. It's an I don't have to prove shit to you attitude. It will look at options in the bigger picture. And this is a Mars that can delay short-term wins for the big prize, which is great because this is what we're working for. We're working for the lifetimes, not the lifetime. It's no longer about the short-term wins. It's about the long-term wins. And, the one thing to watch for with Mars and Capricorn is cold calculation and frigid movements towards your goals. So it can be cold and calculating. Just break that up, allow the sun to warm you, allow that Aquarian energy to, spark that. So just, again, watching for those. And then we already talked about Mercury retrograde in Capricorn. That will ingress on January 25th. So that is it for January. Thank you so much for joining me in this. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share if you found value in this. And leave a comment on what you think about the new format. This is Also, my time, I am growing and developing along with everybody else in this channel, and what I offer is growing and developing. So I'd love to hear through the comments what everybody thinks about the new format. And I hope you join me over on my Patreon, where I do weekly habitual cosmic reviews along with other exclusive material. So just as a notation, I'll leave all of that in the description box below. I do hope to see you there, and have a persistent January. And I will see you for the next moon. Bye, everyone.